Now, I'm not an event marketer, but I am a marketer who has hosted a few events in the past couple years, and I wanted to share a few things that have worked and then also a few things that I want to try in the next event. So here's a little bit of background. Existing company, been in business for 60 plus years, moving to a new territory, right? So we don't really have any existing customers. We don't really have a footprint. We don't have an office. We don't really have anything. We've got a couple of remote salespeople up there, but that's really it. So we're really starting from scratch here. So what did we do? A couple things that we did that seemed to work pretty well is I actually went and sourced a few lists. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with ZoomInfo or Apollo. There are quite a few data brokers out there where you can actually go in, build a list using criteria like location, industry firmographics, etc. So I actually compiled a few lists from a couple different sources, and I started a cold email outreach campaign. And that seemed to be pretty effective because a lot of the customers that registered, we had never done business with. So we had no personal tie to them. It was not a personal invite that brought them in. So that seemed to work really well. What I did was I tried to highlight different things that would resonate with their industry and then tailor my email to that. So let's just say it was a company that did some type of fabrication. Maybe I would send them an email that would focus on robotic welding because that was a demo that we had at the event. So the piece speaks to that and says, hey, if you want to check out this demo live, come to our event. Another thing that we did was stayed very active on social media. So we try to post every day if we can. And then what we try to do leading up to an event is we try to tailor our posts to drive people to register for the event. Like what you saw here? Well, come see more at the event. Want to see this demo live? Come see it at the event. Want to find out more about this? Come to the event and we will have a presentation on this. So an easy way to do that, I have found, is we use HubSpot and the marketing portal inside of HubSpot. So what I basically do is build a template, and it's a template post, and it has all the pertinent event information in it. Has the URL, tags all the factories that are participating, has the agenda, has basically the whole body of the event, everything that you would need to know to register for the event. Location, time, date, etc. And that is basically my base post. And then with every subsequent post, I would clone that post and then change the copy at the top and then just push people down to the bottom of the post, and that's where they would get their event information. This made it significantly easier for me to tag 20, 30 companies in every single post, keep my messaging consistent, have all the contact information, all the date, etc. All of that information is right there in the post, and I don't have to worry about recreating it or making any errors. So that was one thing that really, really helped. So again, posting frequently, but then taking your post and having your post drive people to register for the event seemed to really work. Again, a lot of the people that registered were not our existing customers, so they had to find us somewhere, right? And I definitely think that several of them found us through LinkedIn. Another thing that we tried from a social media standpoint is we actually posted the event on LinkedIn as an event, right? And then what we would do is I actually ran ads to that event. That's something that we haven't really done before, and we didn't really spend a ton of money on it, but it was just another way to try to get in front of people in a net new territory. So we created our event, and then we created some ads that pushed people to the event. Now, the cool thing about LinkedIn is that if you build your event inside of LinkedIn, people can actually register right there on LinkedIn. And then what I would do is I would just build a couple ways you could do it. You could use like a Zapier to integrate people that register on LinkedIn, push them directly into your event software, or just download the list, go to your event software, upload it in bulk, right? And then register them that way. So we probably got a third of our people registering through LinkedIn. So the building the event on LinkedIn and then running ads to that event definitely seemed to help. Now, another thing that you should really do during your event, because you only got one shot at this, is capture content. right? Have a camera going around, grabbing footage. You don't even have to really have a mic on it. You don't have to interview people, but just capture footage of people in your event interacting with the vendors, interacting with your staff, walking through the door. Because the next time you throw an event, people are going to want to know what they're getting themselves into. So having footage is huge, not necessarily for the event itself, for the next event. And I think that is something that oftentimes gets overlooked. Is just like, oh my gosh, the event's finally here. Thank goodness. Let me just go check these people in and make sure that there are no fires. Sure. But could you potentially get some interns? There was one time we had kids from a local high school come, and I set them up with a couple cameras, and they walked around, and we got a ton of footage. I probably had 2 or 3 cameras going, and the kids basically used it as a field trip. So might you be able to partner with a local school, right? Or if you have an intern, if not, maybe get an intern, and this is their first job. There are a lot of cameras that are very easy to use, even a phone, right? Walk around, capture that footage, so the next time that you go to, announce your next event, you can do like a little hype reel and say, hey, we're coming. This is what our events are like, right? So you demystify it. People can see footage of an event and say, oh, look, well, it looks clean. There's food. There are people there, right? It looks professionally done. Yeah, you know what? Maybe I'll give them a shot, even though I've never heard of them before. Now, here are a few things that I would probably do differently next time. It's very easy to focus solely on the cold outreach or literally just trying to pull people in to get them to register for the event, right? The whole goal is you want people to register, but at the end of the day, you want them to also attend. So one thing that I'm going to think about with the next event that we do is actually build email sequences that are tailored to people that have already registered, right? Especially if let's say registration opens 2 months, 3 months before the actual event. If I'm registering now and the event's not till January, come December, you have all these holidays. Oh man, what was that event that I registered for? Why did I register for it? So really tailoring messaging to people that you've already convinced to come, right? You already convinced them to register. Now you want to get them to attend. So specifically if your event is free, right? If there's no skin in the game for the person that registered. So really trying to build out a campaign that is focused on people that have already registered, right? Reminding them, hey, here's the event agenda. Hey, here are the talks. Hey, here's a demo that you're going to see. Here are some confirmed vendors, right? Don't forget that we're going to have free food and free beer. Get there early, etc. So really trying to remind them why they signed up in the first place, and that hey, this is coming, right? Ultimately, it's great to get people to register, especially net new customers, because now you have their contact information, right? Now you can reach out to them. Whether they come to the event or not, you still have captured their information, which is great. But ideally, the percentage of people who registered that actually attend would also, continue to grow as you get better and better at hosting events. So that is something that I think we will try to do a little bit differently, a little bit more intentionally moving forward. Is once you get the person to register, how do you keep them engaged? And also, how might you use them as a champion to get other people in their organization to register? So something that I've been toying around with is, hey, maybe the company that gets the most people to register wins a prize, or we sponsor a pizza party. Just something that would get people a little bit excited, that might get them to share the fact that they're going to this event with some of their coworkers, right? That, I think, could also help take advantage of the fact that you already convinced one person to come, but how might you get them to then invite people on your behalf? So that's another thing that I want to try to explore and play around with and really test, because I think that could then be a multiplying effect, right? You get the one person to register from an organization, and now you have specific messaging that goes to everybody that's registering that encourages them to invite their friends. And again, not an event marketer, but I have marketed a few events. So these are some things that really helped me out, and also a couple things that I want to test in the future. So hopefully that helps you.